Uh, the first problem talks about 95% of potatoes are acceptable for processing. And if any more than 10% are unacceptable, then you got to reject the whole shipment. And this is actually pretty standard with food shipping when it comes to grocery stores. To check, you randomly select 250 potatoes. Let the proportion estimate P be the sample proportion of unacceptable potatoes. So if the proportion of acceptable equals 0.95, that means the proportionate estimate of unacceptable equals 0.05. And from the equation we learned, that means the mean of the proportion is equal to P. So therefore, the mean of the sampling distribution of P hat is 0.05. Let's check the 10% condition, and if the 10% condition works, then we should calculate the standard deviation of the sampling distribution. Well, here's the 10% condition again. So we got 250 potatoes, and then 0.05 needs to be greater than 10, and you got 250, and then 95 here needs to be greater than 10. And what happens is we get this first one is 12.5 is greater than 10, and 237.5 is also greater than 10. So it does pass the 10% condition, so therefore we can now find the standard deviation. So I'm going to go over here. So the standard deviation of P hat, the estimate proportion, you go ahead and plug that all in, 0.05. And what that ends up being is that number starts being 0.0137, and that is the standard deviation of the estimate proportion. And please go ahead and interpret that value in context. C, it says check the normal condition and sketch the sampling distribution. Of P hat based on this sketch. Do you think it is likely to reject the truckload of the random sample? And actually, this is what we want to check. And because of that, we could we could say like, hey, this is normal. Do you think it's likely to reject a truckload based on a random sample of 250 potatoes? So it is approximately normal, and what's going to happen here is, let's go ahead and take a look at the mean. And if